I am Ray Rivera, the proud third president of Estrella Mountain Community College, where your success is our success. EMCC is part of the Maricopa Community College District that serves over 200,000 students across 10 colleges in Maricopa County. It is my pleasure to welcome you to EMCC as we are enthusiastic about hosting the 2020 West Valley Pipeline Summit. To say that 2020 has been a challenge would be a gross understatement, as it has significantly altered the way most of us conduct business. The complexity of the challenges we face today highlights the need for us to work together to build a prepared and resilient workforce in the West Valley. This coalition shares the goal of enhancing our community's economic health and vitality, and it is more important than ever before. I am encouraged that the hardships have not stalled the progress towards our economic and workforce development goals, and commend our colleagues for their perseverance and hard work. I think I speak for all of us when I say that your efforts are appreciated because they transform our communities for the better. Later in the summit, you will hear more about the work we are doing in partnership with Glendale Community College as we support the West Valley's region's growth. However, here are a few highlights. Collectively, EMCC and GCC serve close to 30,000 students annually, and President Lebo Ruiz and I are committed to finding innovative ways to help our students succeed. We have partnered with, hold on a second. We have partnered with prominent industry experts such as Intel and Microsoft to address the growing gap in the highly skilled workforce for information technology and advancing technology. Specifically at EMCC, we are addressing the critical and in-demand healthcare workforce needs in the West Valley by doubling the enrollment in our nursing program. Both Estrella Mountain and Glendale Community College continue to develop and strengthen the K-20 pipeline between our high school and university partners. Getting our community members into higher paying jobs will serve as a launch pad to our region's overall economic health. So we are excited about the new and emerging pathways that will help students transition from our local high schools to complete a certificate and enter the workforce, or complete an associate's degree and transfer to a baccalaureate granting institution. I look forward to hearing the workforce development progress made this year and what we need to maintain our momentum for the West Valley's betterment. If you have a question for any of our presenters today, please ask in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. And now, without further ado, please help me welcome Mr. Neil Terry, who has spent a large part of his professional career helping to develop the West Valley.
Good morning. On behalf of Westmark, I want to welcome everybody to today's broadcast and thank Dr. Rivera and Estrella Mountain Community College for hosting this broadcast and allowing us the use of this beautiful facility. On a personal note, my business, Orcott Winslow, had the privilege of helping to design this Performing Arts Center. Thank you, Dr. Rivera, for your support of Westmark and the West Valley Pipeline Initiative. Today's topic is an update on the progress that's been made this past year, year 2 of the West Valley Pipeline, despite COVID. We have a great program lined up, and many of those that are involved in the creation of this West Valley Pipeline will be here to present and talk about the things that are going on and make it a meaningful tool for our region for economic development. The West Valley Pipeline is a workforce development strategy created to support economic development here in Western Maricopa County. And why is a strong workforce development strategy important for economic development? Economic development is a role of local government and a huge priority. It attracts businesses to our communities to provide employment for our residents, generate revenues to help build our infrastructure, and support services that make our communities attractive, safe, and healthy. And most of our workforce currently work in other parts of the valley, which you will learn more about in today's presentation. That puts a strain on our infrastructure and roadways. It also reduces the quality of life for those residents that face a long commute ahead of them each day. So we need more employers here locally to ensure that residents have a place to work near where they live, reduce the burden on our transportation system, and improve the quality of life here in Western Maricopa. And a lot more residents will need employment in the coming future, not just the existing residents. Several weeks ago, some of you had the privilege of watching a presentation also put on by Westmark, where Greg Vogel of Land Advisors talked about the projection that in the next 15 years, West Valley is going to grow 50% more in population. To attract the right employers, we need a strategy that identifies the existing workforce here and a robust education system to train additional workforce as well as retrain existing workforce for those businesses. So in 2018, the West Valley, in collaboration with government, education, and business partners, finalized and began implementation of the region's workforce development strategy called the West Valley Pipeline. Data collected in the development of the regional strategy qualified and quantified the diverse, highly skilled workforce that exists today in the West Valley. The intent of the strategy is to use the data of current workforce and commute patterns to illustrate the strong workforce we have today and guide the development of the robust workforce we will need well into the future to support targeted growth, business attraction, and economic development. And this strategy has targeted 6 important industries: advanced business services, advanced manufacturing, aerospace and aviation, healthcare, IT, cybersecurity, and transportation and logistics supply chain management. Westmark's role as the strategy implementation coordinator has the support of our board of directors, who see this as a key regional priority. Through this coordination, Westmark works with our partners in government, education, and business to inform them of the strategy and to receive input that make it meaningful and useful. Westmark provides messaging and marketing collateral material about the strategy for both regional partners and stakeholders working with potential business locators. Westmark develops messaging and marketing collateral about the partner accomplishments that support the strategy for the purpose of business attraction and economic development. The workforce strategy is a 360-degree tool that provides meaningful information to potential locators and businesses about the available workforce, identifies the workforce needed to serve those businesses and industries, and informs educators on what training is needed for that workforce, essentially creating a full circle back to providing a qualified workforce for our businesses and industries here in Western Maricopa County. Like anything, the proof is in the results and being able to see the effectiveness of the effort. And towards that end, it's my pleasure to introduce Mayor Hermosillo, who is going to talk about the value of the West Valley Pipeline and how it's benefited her city of El Mirage. She has a short video. Thank you again for joining us this morning.
Good morning. I'm Alexis Hermosillo, Mayor of the City of El Mirage. I'm pleased to be with you this morning to provide an update on the West Valley Pipeline strategy. The West Valley mayors value regionalism and collaboration, which benefits the entire West Valley to promote a healthy regional image for our cities to outside investors. It also enhances regional competitiveness in a global market, and it keeps developments in the region. One development may not suit one city, but it may suit another in the West Valley. And these relationships are important because we do take care of each other here in the West Valley. West Valley mayors recognize the value of regional coordination of government, education, and business. These essential partnerships leverage resources, strengths, and expertise of multiple partners. This also provides alignment for training and education for current and future workforce. As you know, the cities of El Mirage and Goodyear secured Microsoft data centers that improves the entire West Valley. Having an internationally recognized company brings high wage and high tech jobs that impacts quality of life and provides opportunities for students to pursue. Thank you, and the City of El Mirage appreciates Westmark and the West Valley Pipeline Strategy.
Thank you, Mayor Hermosillo. Now I'll turn this over to Ms. Cindy Irwin, Director for College and Career Pathways at the Center for the Future of Arizona, who will speak to the importance of building pathways for in-demand occupations, especially in STEM.
Thank you, Dr. Rivera, and thank you to Westmark for inviting us to be here today and share a bit about our work. The Center for the Future of Arizona is a nonprofit, nonpartisan do tank, and our mission at CFA is to build a stronger, brighter future for Arizona. We bring Arizonans together around issues that matter to them, including areas like education and civic engagement, which are two areas I'd like to focus on. Related to Pillar 1 of the West Valley Strategy, we're deeply involved in creating career-connected industry pathways, and we do that first by focusing on the industry part of industry pathways. We work with partners like Westmark and industry to identify the jobs, knowledge and skills, and degrees and credentials that meet the demands of today's workforce. Then we partner with community college, university, and K-12 to backward map industry needs to programs of study, ensuring that we're teaching the right courses with the right content and credentials at the right sequence at the right time. Certainly, we don't do this on our own. We work with existing sector partnerships and talent pipeline efforts. The framework through which we do our pathways work is an early college pathways strategy. Arizona is part of a national Pathways to Prosperity network of 14 states and regions, led by Jobs for the Future and the Harvard Graduate School of Education. CFA leads this statewide effort on behalf of the Office of the Governor. Arizona Pathways to Prosperity creates seamless educational training and credentialing opportunities for students that are aligned with industry needs in high demand, high growth industry sectors, leading to increased educational attainment and a strong talent pipeline for employers. The three key elements of career-connected pathways are, first of all, meaningful career exploration beginning in the middle grades and continuing through high school. Secondly, aligned programs of study, including early college dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment coursework that ensures students are on a track to graduate with college credits, so there's a seamless transition between high school and post-secondary. And then thirdly, multiple and varied work-based learning experiences to connect students to the world of work early and often. CFA currently works with 50 plus K-12 and post-secondary education partners and 60 industry and community partners across Maricopa, Pima, Pinal, and Yuma counties. The college and career pathways target Arizona's growth sectors, including IT and cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, health and bioscience, and energy. I'd like to highlight one innovative strategy in work-based learning. Expanding apprenticeships has been both a national and a state priority. However, we often don't think about apprenticeships at the high school level, and we don't think of apprenticeships often outside of the trade areas. To demonstrate a new model, along with partners, CFA launched a cybersecurity apprenticeship with Kudelski Security and students from the Phoenix Union High School District. The high school students commit to a 4-year apprenticeship. As part of the apprenticeship, students earn dual credits from Maricopa Community Colleges and industry certifications, and they gain critical working experience at Kudelski. Key learnings from this pilot project will serve to inform a model for high school apprenticeships in Arizona. We hope that through the learning and demonstration of a solid model that works both for industry and students, we will have more industry partners inspired to step up and consider high school apprenticeships as a viable talent pipeline strategy. And in looking at another one of the Westmark pillars, I'd like to share some specific ways we're supporting STEM education. CFA is in the 3rd year of a highly successful pilot for the middle grades career literacy and guidance curriculum project entitled Possible Futures. The project directly impacts over 1,200 students and 41 teachers across 19 schools in Maricopa, Pima, and Yuma counties. The curriculum provides high quality, research-based career exploration to students, and is filling a significant gap in career guidance at the middle grades level. The work is helping put more students in pathways on a trajectory to earning skills and credentials recognized by industry in the healthcare, information technology, and advanced manufacturing sectors. Not only do students learn more about STEM fields and Arizona workforce opportunities, but also teachers expand their knowledge of STEM fields and specific career opportunities with Arizona industries. In response to COVID-19, CFA also worked with the Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce and the Arizona Business and Education Coalition to recruit more than 25 employers and 80 educators to participate in virtual educator externships. Companies included companies like Banner, APS, Schwab, Google, Dirk Logistics, and about 20 plus others. This model maximizes connections between industry and education and allows both parties the opportunity to customize industry-specific solutions that improve student outcomes and meet workforce needs. And lastly, another area of significant STEM contribution is through a $4.1 million grant CFA was awarded intended to increase the number of students entering, persisting, and completing early college pathways in cybersecurity and information technology in high school. We're in our first pilot phase of this project, and Cactus High School in Peoria is one of our pilot partners. Beginning this spring, we'll be adding 21 high schools to this grant, several of which we hope are from within the West Valley. And we look forward to working with Estrella Mountain Community College and our university partners to increase opportunities for students and build a stronger computer science and cybersecurity workforce. And then transitioning to CFA's Young Talent work, and I know many of you would have heard from Christy Tate, one of my colleagues at CFA, speak about our Young Talent work in a another Westmark committee meeting a few weeks ago. Arizona's young leaders are critical to our state's future success, and we need their talents and contributions as leaders today and tomorrow. What will keep these leaders in Arizona and contributing to Arizona businesses and organizations in all sectors? To answer these questions, the Center for the Future of Arizona embarked on an important research project and listening journey. It was designed to capture the highest priorities of Arizona's young talent and provide Arizona leaders and employers in every sector with a new understanding of Arizonans' values and aspirations. The short-term objective was to provide Arizona with a set of metrics for the Young Talent Progress Meter, the last of 8 progress meters developed by CFA and its partners to help measure progress on the issues that matter most to Arizonans. The long-term goal is to ensure that Arizona remains a place of great opportunity and the place to be for young Arizona leaders. Specifically, through a partnership with Westmark, the perspectives of young leaders across the West Valley have been captured through this project. Westmark served as a co-convener of a focus group of young leaders across sectors to offer their experience and insights on what connects them to their communities and workplaces and what might cause them to go elsewhere. From this process, a group of West Valley rising leaders was invited to join a newly formed Young Talent Advisory for CFA, which continues to advise on the Young Talent Progress Meters and strategies to inform policy and practice that are responsive to young Arizonans. With the support of Westmark and other critical partners, CFA just launched the Young Talent Progress Meter in October, which highlights the issues of key concern to young Arizonans and engages leaders statewide in dialogue and action to move forward on these concerns. And lastly, I just want to close by saying that we're proud to be a member of Westmark and a partner to so many industry and education partners in the West Valley. And we look forward to continuing to expand our work and partnership with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Just a reminder for those that are watching online, you can submit questions in the Q&A section of the presentation. But I do have a couple of questions for you, Cindy, here. I'll get us started. What are some of the highest priorities for young talent when they're evaluating whether to stay in their community?
That's a great question. So through the work we did, listening to young talent leaders across the state of Arizona, some of their highest priorities were things like healthcare, things like education, things like culture in the workplace, things like parks and recreation and arts in Arizona. And you can actually see the full list of progress meters for young Arizonans on our website at arizonafuture.org, and you'll find information on the 7 other Arizona progress meters as well.
Final question, Cindy. How can we best engage young talent and include them in regional planning and initiatives?
Another great question. I think events like this and ensuring that young talent are involved in these events and that we're listening to young talent. CFA's advisory board on young talent, I think, is another great example of building a network of young leaders across Arizona that we're listening to. And really, as leaders, all of us continuing to elevate the voice of those young leaders in Arizona and connect them to the work.
Cindy.
Thank you very much.
Okay, please help me welcome Dr. Spencer Isom. Dr. Isom serves as WestMec's Director of Business Development and Governmental Affairs and is instrumental partner in delivering career and technical education in the West Valley. Before he joins us on stage, please enjoy this video.
I want to commend Westmark's administration, the board, and business membership, as well as the 15 West Valley communities for investing in the West Valley pipeline and on this year 2 update. Economic development in the West Valley has a direct correlation to workforce development, and workforce development is what we do at WestMec. We train high school students and an increasing number of adults for in-demand, high-wage careers. About 1/2 of the high school completers at WestMec continue on to post-secondary and higher education. So before we get into the 3 pillars and relevant strategies, I never want to presume that everyone knows what WestMec is. WestMec stands for the Western Maricopa Education Center, and we are the West Valley CTE public district. Covers about 3,600 square miles from New River, west to Wickenburg, south to Buckeye, and east again to Phoenix, and really all points in between. We are one of 14 of the state's career and technical education districts and offering central high school programs. We opened our doors in 2003, and our first program was a partnership with Glendale Community College, which was an EMT program, and we've grown from there. We've got 12 member districts, 48 high schools, and about approaching 40,000 students at WestMec, 4 central campuses. So there's a lot of information on these slides, and I only have about 7 minutes, so I'll try to cover just a couple of things from each slide as we move forward, so I'm gonna count on you to do some reading. So addressing the skills gap, again, that's what we do, and we do it well. There are 3 bullets on this slide that I just wanted to point out that deal with adult education. We have adult education programs in avionics, aviation, electronics, coding, HVAC, refrigeration, IT security, pharmacy technology, precision manufacturing, and welding technologies. If you think about it, we have these state-of-the-art high school programs that sit empty in the mornings and during the evening. So what an opportunity for us to help train our adult population or retrain our adult population at a cost of about $7.50 a classroom hour. Just to put that into context, if you're going to do an aviation program, 1,900 hours, that's about $7,000 a year for a person to retrain and become aviation certified. For a 1-year program, about 400 hours, that's about $3,000. And if you consider it, it's quite a bargain because we are now FAFSA, Pell, and VA certified. So watch us grow in our adult education programming. Partnerships, this is just a sampling of them. You know, Corning sends their employees to WestMec machining program to be certified on many WestMec machines. For example, they may say to Bill, say, we want you to train on machines X, Y, and Z. We're going to send you over to WestMec, and when you come back, we're going to give you about $3 more an hour in pay. The independent electrical contractors, IEC, they use our space for apprenticeship opportunities, and in turn, our completers get to pursue those opportunities with IEC contractors after completion, and we have adopted their national curriculum. Pima Medical Institute is a private post-secondary institution, and they actually have 2 counselors that they send to our medical assisting program to help our completers turn those MAs into RNs. Next slide. We continue to develop and strengthen higher education and post-secondary partnerships with ASU, NAU, and the Maricopa Community College systems, as well as private institutions like PMI. Again, creating career pathways for in-demand occupations is what WestMec does. This is the last year of WestMec's current strategic plan, and the 3 pillars are what we call vision elements, closely align with the objectives of the West Valley Pipeline Initiative. We are in the process of developing a new strategic plan, and based on our involvement and partnership with Westmark, we plan that plan will even more closely align with the West Valley Pipeline Project and initiatives to promote economic development in the West Valley. We partnered with West Valley cities, for example, and Arizona Department of Water Resources to develop a new environmental sustainability program. Before coming to WestMec, I was in West Valley City Management, and one of the challenges as a city manager was succession planning and the concept of or idea and need to replace a water and wastewater treatment plant operators. So we got our WestMec programming together with the city public works directors, and we developed this program that upon completion, the students will be able to test for water wastewater operator 1 license, and hopefully you'll see more WestMec completers coming to your local governments. It's a great program, just one of many ways WestMec seeks to engage with the cities in the West Valley. Tomorrow's employees must embrace a culture of safety, and tomorrow's workforce safety will be first. At WestMec, we want all students, regardless of disability, to be successful, which is why WestMec established Project Search. Project Search is a phenomenal partnership that we have to help young adults who may be mentally or physically challenged to reach their full potential. I want to thank the Renaissance as well as Luke Air Force Base for hosting our Project Search students. We recognize the importance of I apologize. We recognize the importance of soft skills. and the ability for students to be able to express themselves professionally, kind of pull up their pants and be able to make proper eye contact, et cetera. WestMec makes it a point to integrate leadership and teamwork in all of our programming so that our students are immediately employable upon completion of their technical programs. We involve our students with career and technical student organizations such as FBLA, HOSA, Skills USA, DECA, and others. Again, integrating soft skills is what we do. We send our students and completers continually through electronic mock interviews to give students the experience of job interviewing in person, both in person and online. At WestMec, we partner with our elementary school districts to help develop career interest as early as possible. The younger we can introduce students to career and technical education, the more likely they are to identify their possibilities over time. So with regard to rebranding WestMec, WestMec is not your Uncle Joe's shop class of the past or Aunt Martha's home economics course. WestMec is about developing occupational skills for the next generation of employees in the West Valley. This is my third year at WestMec, and as we increase our footprint throughout the West Valley, you know, more and more people have become aware of WestMec and the opportunities WestMec has to offer. We'll continue our outreach efforts and connecting directly with Westmark and the 15 West Valley communities to determine future economic development and workforce needs. When you think about it, it's our turn in the West Valley for economic development, and WestMec wants to continue to be a part of it, and we are your asset and partner. And a special thanks, I want to give a special thanks to Westmark for the recent award to WestMec this year for the Best of the West Award for Regional Advancement. And with that, I stand for questions.
Thank you, Dr. Isom. It's great to hear all the wonderful things that WestMec is doing in the West Valley. One question, what advancements are on the horizon for WestMec in 2021, 2022?
Thank you, Dr. Rivera, for that question. I'm pretty excited about this next year, this coming year. I talked about our strategic plan, but as important, we talked about expanding our footprint in the West Valley. We are in the process of completing the acquisition of about 30 acres at the Algodon Center near the Banner Australia Hospital. And that's along the 101 just north of the I-10. So that will be our 5th campus and serving the Phoenix, West Valley, and that southern portion of our district. So that's a pretty important development that we have, and certainly all of our partners here at Westmark will have an input on the types of programming that may well go into that facility.
So next question, can you address any legislative issues that should be on our radar pertaining to career and technical education?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Dr. Rivera, for that question. You know, as I mentioned, WestMec is one of 14 career and technical education districts around the state of Arizona. We do have a policy agenda, and we appreciate Westmark's interest in helping see policy initiatives for its members move forward. So as a career and technical education district, we do have 5 initiatives on our radar. The first is Any Day, Anytime. The second is 4th year funding. And the third initiative is to increase internships and the funding for internships around the state. We're seeking an A through F amendment, which addresses the differences that career and technical education districts have with traditional high schools. And finally, We're seeking to amend legislation and language for special projects funds. Many of our programs actually generate revenue, and we're looking for the flexibility to kind of roll those funds back into student organization travel and training. So,
All right, thank you for your time, Dr. Isom. Just a reminder, if you have a burning question for any of our presenters, please type them in the Q&A section of the presentation here. Next, we have Dr. Susan Campbell, Interim Dean for Career and Technical Education at Glendale Community College, and Paula Livingston, Dean of Instruction and Occupational Education at Estrella Mountain Community College. They will share how community colleges are working with industry partners to address skills gaps in emerging workforce sectors. But first, here's a short introductory video. Welcome to Estrella Mountain Community College.
And greetings from Glendale Community College.
We offer hundreds of courses taught by world-class faculty in state-of-the-art facilities.
Together with you, we are building the future of the West Valley.
Good morning, and thank you for having us today. Paula and I are happy to announce that we are now serving the West Valley as the West Valley IT and Advancing Technology Institute. This is a collaboration between the Glendale and Estrella Mountain Community Colleges to address the critical growing gap of unfilled IT positions and advanced technology workforce needs in the West Valley. Course offerings focus on entry-level and mid-level career readiness for the IT sector, including courses to upskill workers. Programs and offerings include cybersecurity, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, app development, big data or data science, and in the future we'll have autonomous and unmanned systems. Classes are offered at 2 convenient locations, one in Avondale, the other in Glendale. We have been engaged with business and industry leaders to address IT workforce challenges and anticipate emerging needs. We offer certificates, degrees, and prepare students for industry certifications and can provide corporate training and boot camps in various technology applications. We are the only 2 community colleges in Arizona with the designation CAE, which is the National Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense. We are Red Hat Academies, and Estrella is also a Palo Alto Networks Academy. These designations require us to teach to rigorous industry standards and also demonstrate the quality of our educational programs. We support the Valley by hosting advancing technology forums at Estrella, and the community can come in and take the professional certification exams at Glendale through our Pearson VUE Testing Center. To address skills gaps through industry, education, and workforce partnerships, we're really excited to announce that Estrella and Glendale have partnered with Microsoft to become a Microsoft Data Center Academy. Our IT students will be able to take a suite of foundation classes to help them obtain CompTIA certifications such as A+, Server+, Network Security, and/or Linux+, as well as earn a certificate or degree in our various IT pathways. This will help to prepare students for careers in one of the 3 data centers that Microsoft is opening in the West Valley, or careers in the other IT opportunities in our West Valley firms. Microsoft is donating a data center equipment to outfit the data center lab for industry-driven hands-on experience. They're providing scholarships for our students, and they are assisting with industry-specific mentoring and internship opportunities. Artificial intelligence is rapidly increasing in new technology, applications, and demand for workforce training. To support the driving demand for AI technology, Intel and Maricopa Community Colleges have teamed up to create Arizona's first AI certificate and degree program, which Estrella is offering in January. Efforts for the development of the AI program have been supported by the Arizona Commerce Authority. Banner Health and many of the West Valley hospitals and medical centers have long supported our nursing programs and provided wonderful hands-on clinical opportunities for our students, and we thank you so much for your continued support. Now, GCC and MESA's engineering programs are developing a certificate in biomedical equipment technology. This STEM program is great for students that want to be in an engineering field, but may not want to pursue a 4-year degree. This certificate is being created in partnership with Banner Health to fill their need for skilled engineering technicians across the state. Amazon provides their employees training opportunities to pursue future careers through their Career Choice program. We have provided training in several different career fields, and we're now in the process of setting up a CCNA certification program to begin in February with current Amazon employees. Glendale is offering AWS Cloud Practitioner and Cloud Architect classes. Last week, you may have seen the Arizona Commerce Authority and Amazon Web Services announced a statewide commitment to increase cloud computing education with a goal to train and certify 5,000 students for entry-level cloud computing careers by 2022. Estrella has a partnership with APS in Power Systems Technology, and Glendale has a partnership with Discover, providing their employees with an AAS in organizational management there at their facility. These are just a few examples of some of the workforce partnerships that we already have. Paula will now share with you some of our education partnerships and career pathways.
Thank you, Susan. So we're here to share, and Susan has shared some really exciting opportunities that are happening here in the West Valley, and Estrella and Glendale is excited to be a part of those opportunities. We also want to share with you what are we doing about creating pathways to get students and community members into high demand, in-demand careers in support of the West Valley workforce pipeline. Recognizing that helping students get into careers starts early, we partner with our feeder high schools to develop dual enrollment programs that can get students exploring careers, testing out careers, trying some education, and figuring out what they want to be. Those pathways then continue on to the community college. We are also excited to offer some concurrent enrollment programs. We have a program at Estrella for culinary. At the community college level, we've been doing some intensive work around our degree pathways. It's called guided pathways. What that does is it helps to streamline the classes that students take to help them get through their degrees quicker. It also has embedded certificates along the way. So students are earning credentials while they work towards their degree. Those credentials can sometimes lead to jobs while they're still getting their degree. We are also regularly looking for new programs to help support the economic development and growth of the West Valley. Susan has shared a couple of those with you. We're super excited about the advancements in technology and our partnerships with Intel and Microsoft and others that have been mentioned. So after the community college, we also want to create pathways for students to go on to a 4-year degree. A lot of times, we sometimes think of associates of applied science degrees as the end, that you stop after your 2-year program. We are thrilled to announce that we have new partnerships with NAU, ASU, U of A, GCU, all of the U's that are out there to develop those pathways. Right now, we have a 90-30 with NAU that takes students from our Associates of Applied Science in Power Systems Technology onto a Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies in Industrial Management. So you can get a job with your associate's degree, and then while you're working, you can go get your bachelor's degree to improve your career. We are also most recently have been working with University of Arizona to develop some pathways from our Associates of Applied Science in Cybersecurity and Administration of Justice into a Bachelor of Applied Science in Intelligence and Operations. Very exciting, cutting edge work that's happening in the intelligence community. Additionally, you'll see on the slide that we work with Pipeline AZ. This is a platform that is being piloted to connect students and employers. We're thrilled about the opportunity to provide that platform to students. It can help them get jobs. It can help them connect through internships. Providing work-based experiences and getting students into jobs is a critical component of what we do at Estrella Mountain and Glendale. On the next slide, we've also been supporting our STEM students for a very long time. We both have grants through the NSF to support that, and we partner with other organizations to bring a lot of opportunities for our students. One of those being undergrad research experiences. and the robust complement that they make to the educational journey for their students. Each of us also has a location on campus. Glendale has the STEM Connect, and Estrella has the STEM Center of Excellence, where students can connect with faculty and advisors and receive tutoring or collaborate with other students around projects. Additionally, Glendale has a Girls Who Code or a Girls Get It program to help increase the diversity of gender in the IT field. Estrella has the STEAM Engine, which is a makerspace. It's actually 2 spaces with technology and woodworking, places for students to collaborate and work on projects within their class. So definitely a lot of support for STEM, and again, reaching out into the high schools and the elementary schools to bring those students onto our campuses to experience STEM early on. Lastly, on the last slide, I'll share with you what we're doing to try to rebrand what people know and understand about CTE. Recently, I was in a conversation with GPEC, Greater Phoenix Chamber, talking about the manufacturing industry. And she shared with me, Catherine shared with me, that that industry was talking about their image and what could we do to change the image or what people know about advanced manufacturing. So working with our partners, working to educate the community and to share a little bit about CTE. Those are high tech, they're good paying jobs. And as I've shared, because we have more pathways onto the university, they don't have to be where you stop. So we want to thank Westmark for this opportunity to share with you a little bit about what Estrella and Glendale are doing here in the West Valley to support the West Valley Pipeline.
Thank you, Susan and Paul. It's really great to hear all the wonderful things that both Estrella Mountain and Glendale are doing for the pipeline here in the West Valley. I do have a couple of questions. So the first one is, what are the top 3 things we can do regionally to support CTE?
Excellent question. So I've shared a little bit, but I would say that the top 3 things that we could do to support CTE regionally would, 1, educate. Let's get out and start telling the story of what CTE is. Let's tell the story of the jobs that students can get. Let's tell the story of the robust and comprehensive educational opportunities that we have. So 1, educate. 2, I would say partner with us. As industry professionals, come to the table with us, help us develop our curriculum, help us make sure that it's relevant, help us in identifying what is the equipment we need to teach. And lastly, I would say help advocate for CTE programs. There's funding out there, there's funding that's needed to support these programs, and if you can help advocate with us, it would really take it to the next level.
Okay, my second question, how long does it take to finalize programs when working with industry partners?
That is a great question. And the answer to that is it depends. So it will depend on the industry that we're looking at, the complexity of the technology that we may need to incorporate, and how much we already have in development and how much needs to be developed. So we would sit down with the company that needs that industry training or the industry itself, and we would map out what it would take. It could be something very short term. It could be something that takes a little bit more time, but we should be able to establish a program for our industry partners in a fairly quick response time.
Thank you, Dean Campbell and Dean Livingston. Now for a message from a crucial industry partner in this work, representing Microsoft, Mr. Anthony Puderek.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Anthony Puderek, Senior Workforce Development Program Manager at Microsoft. And I'm pleased to be here to speak briefly about Microsoft's Data Center Academy program. You know, building digital skills and creating career pathways for the workforces in our data center communities is rooted in Microsoft's mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And Microsoft's Data Center Academy aims to create a diverse and localized talent pool of skilled technical workers in the global communities where we operate data centers. The Academy training prepares workers for jobs in the IT sector, including work in Microsoft data centers. Microsoft is excited to be collaborating with 2 Maricopa community colleges, Estrella Mountain Community College in Avondale and Glendale Community College in Glendale. Now, our program has 5 core pillars: curriculum alignment, mapping data center skills to industry IT curriculum; scholarships, supporting historically underrepresented groups in STEM; equipment donation, providing hardware to build a data center within a classroom; internships, a 12-week paid work experience in a production hyperscale data center, and mentorship, empowering students by building a network of IT professionals, offering guidance on developing interview skills, effective resume building, and soft skills. There are currently 9 data center academies active globally, and the one we're developing here in Arizona will be number 10. Since our program began less than 3 years ago, we've provided over $500,000 in scholarship funding, $4 million in donated equipment, and we've partnered with local contractors who have themselves contributed over $250,000 in donated time and materials, helping to build data center labs in community colleges. It is a privilege to be a part of Arizona's community, and I am personally honored to work closely with dedicated, inspiring individuals like Susan Campbell, Paula Livingston, Trinika Greer, Patty O'Brien, Emilio Cabrera, just to name a few. I look forward to the positive impact we'll have as we work together in Arizona, building stronger communities by investing in our people.
Our next speaker is Mr. Doug Small. Doug is the Director of Strategic Partnerships at Northern Arizona University. As one of our transfer partners, NAU is a fundamental part of Westmark's strategy to strengthen the educational pipeline needed to prepare Arizona's workforce. But you guessed it, before you hear from Doug, here's a short video.
This is Northern Arizona University. It's the one with the mountain, the pines, the dome, the lumberjacks. It's the one on the Mother Road with 120 years of traditions, which looks like this, that, or this. A unique place where you can learn here or here.
It's really beautiful, I love it.
It's a community that cares, because that's what lumberjacks are. See, NAU helps people who can look at microorganisms and see global impacts. People who understand helping one person walk moves us all forward. That opportunity is the only thing that can limit achievement. Lumberjacks stand together, passing traditions onto the next generation, sharing the stuff we love, the moments we remember. It's the pride that shapes the university, that shapes us. This is Northern Arizona University. We are proud, we are loyal, we are lumberjacks.
Thank you, Dr. Rivera, and thank you to the entire Estrella Mountain Community College community. And thank you to all of you for joining us virtually for this presentation this morning. I'm excited to join you this morning to talk about all the different things that NAU is doing to build workforce development in the West Valley. And I have 3 takeaways that I want to leave you with today. And that's a CIO formula. The C is collaboration. I want you to see some of the ways in which NAU is collaborating with Estrella Mountain Community College, Glendale Community College, West MEC, as well as business and industry. The I is innovation. I want to show you how NAU is innovating, how we're doing things a little bit differently than we used to do in the past to serve workforce needs. And then O is opportunity. What is the opportunity that exists for you to join some of these partnership programs? So let's begin with the first slide. The first partnership opportunity is focused on Pillar 1, Strategy 1, which is addressing skill gaps through industry, education, and workforce partnerships. And the first example is our partnership with Discover Financial Services. So Glendale Community College had a relationship with Discover Financial Services in which they were offering a certificate in organizational management right on the premises of Discover Financial Services. That program was going really well, so they decided to offer an associate's degree and to stack on top of that certificate the associate's degree. We became aware of that partnership and we thought, well, we can take them one more step higher to the bachelor's degree. And so now those individuals at Discover Financial, they're 24 of them that are going through this cohort program on site, are now earning a certificate in organizational management, an associate's degree in organizational management, and now they'll be earning a bachelor's degree in strategic leadership from NAU right there at their workplace. So this is a great example of collaboration, working together to bring education into the workforce. This next partnership is with Palo Verde Nuclear Generating Station. So some of the leaders at Palo Verde came to us and they said that they're training employees to become reactor operators and senior reactor operators. And so that training leads to a license from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. But that training did not lead to any college credit. And so they asked, could we look at their training and their curriculum and assign or award credit for that experience? Because a lot of these individuals did not have a bachelor's degree. So we worked with Palo Verde and our engineering department to review that training, and we determined that we could award up to 48 credits for that training because it was very solid with math, science, engineering principles. And so we actually built a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering Technology program for Palo Verde and for that industry. And so that program will start online this fall. And it's online because a lot of those individuals are working and they have different shifts. And so this is the best way to deliver this program for them. And so that will not only impact Palo Verde at the local level, but also an industry across the country. This next slide is advanced manufacturing and technical skills and how we're working in this field. We have a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies with an industrial leadership focus. And that degree is meant to partner with associate degree programs at Glendale Community College, at Estrella Mountain Community College for associate's degrees in advanced manufacturing. The particular example that you see is for a partnership that we have with Estrella Mountain Community College, in which they offer an AAS in Power Systems Technology. So students come here to Estrella Mountain Community College to finish this program and to take this program here. They have an opportunity to work in an internship or an apprenticeship program at Palo Verde while they're in this degree program. And then when they complete the program, they can go to work for Palo Verde. However, it doesn't stop there. They can finish their degree in a bachelor's degree in industrial leadership with us, in which we're giving them some additional management and leadership skills. So if they want to move up in Palo Verde, they can do so. This next strategy is Pillar 1, Strategy 5. And the next 3 slides will address that, which is create career pathways for in-demand occupations. And all these occupations that I'll talk about are related to healthcare. So this first program is fitness and wellness. At Glendale Community College, they have an AA or an AAS degree in exercise science. Starting this coming fall, NAU will deliver a Bachelor of Science degree in fitness and wellness management right on the campus of Glendale Community College. So students never have to leave that campus to complete their 4-year degree. This is a great opportunity for individuals to stack their credentials again, to earn their associates, to earn their baccalaureate degree, and then they can go to work in the healthcare field. With this particular degree, they could work in corporate fitness, be a health and wellness coordinator or coach, work in personal training, or some other field in healthcare. But a lot of these individuals may want to go on for an advanced degree to work in the medical profession. And we have those opportunities for them as well. So NAU at the Phoenix Biomedical Center offers physical therapy, a physician assistance program, occupational therapy, athletic training, and then if students want to go on to medical school, they can do so at the Phoenix Biomedical Center with the U of A. So this program that we have gives the students all the science that they need, the biology, chemistry, physics that they need to go on to medical school and stay local and join one of the local healthcare organizations. This next program is the RN to BSN concurrent enrollment program. So Banner had a great partnership, still has a great partnership with the Maricopa Community Colleges. And they went to Glendale Community College a few years back and stated that the industry was moving towards hiring bachelor's prepared nurses. So Glendale had a great program to prepare nurses through an associate's degree, but they needed an academic partner to help them, to help nursing students graduate with the bachelor's degree so they could be employed through Banner and other hospital organizations. And so Glendale came to us and said, could we partner so that when students are completing their associate's degree, when they're in the nursing curriculum, can they also complete the bachelor's portion of this program? And can we blend these two programs together so that when students finish the associate's degree, they can also be completing their bachelor's degree? And then they can jump right into a position with Banner or another hospital organization. And so we made that happen. And it turned out to be just a terrific partnership that actually went Maricopa wide because of that effort. And so it's a really streamlined pathway, and it's a very affordable pathway. Plus, it keeps students here locally in the West Valley. This next pillar is Pillar 1, Strategy 5, create career pathways for in-demand occupations with behavioral health. And we all know how important behavioral health is in today's world. Glendale Community College has an AAS in behavioral sciences, and we offer a bachelor's degree now on that campus in interdisciplinary studies with an applied human behavior emphasis. And so students that go through this program are learning great skills to work with individuals in a human behavioral setting. And so they can go to work as in a social service agency, in a veteran services agency. They can become a family and child advocate, a court advocate. There are a lot of opportunities for them in that degree field and that profession. However, some of those individuals also want to go on for an advanced degree and get licensed to be a professional counselor. And we offer that degree here in the Valley as well. At I-17 and Greenway, we offer a master's degree in clinical and mental health counseling. So we can take that student from an associate's degree to the bachelor's degree, even to a master's degree, to be prepared for a career in the behavior management field. This last slide addresses Pillar 1 and 2, Strategy 6, rebranding career and technical education. So how is NAU involved with this effort? What we're doing is we're working with WestMech, we're working with Glendale Community College and Estrella Mountain Community College to create these stackable credentials for students as early as their high school years. So students at WestMech have that opportunity to earn dual enrollment credit that can then transfer into an associate's degree and then an NAU bachelor's degree. And so we're working with WestMech, we're working with the community colleges to outline those pathways so that students, when they are looking into these programs at WestMech, they can see where that program can go. Where do these credits go that are dual enrollment? What are my career options? And really help to make sense of these choices that they can make to get a great job in a technical field, but it can also lead to a bachelor's degree. And so we're working with WestMech, we're working with Estrella Mountain Glendale Community College to create these pathways and to help parents and students understand the importance of getting that dual enrollment credit and then going on for further education in a technical field. So I hope through the comments that I've made, you see that CIO formula, you see how NAU is collaborating with local organizations to advance workforce development in the West Valley. You see the innovation that's taking place, and you also see the opportunity that may exist for your organization. So thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your morning.
Thank you, Doug. It's great to hear all the partnerships that exist between NAU, Estrella Mountain, and Glendale community colleges. I do have a few questions for you, though. Have you seen a shift in the enrollment in specific programs in 2020? Any surprises?
Surprises in programs, it's not really a surprise. As you can imagine, healthcare is certainly very popular. IT programming is very popular. And so business-related programs are very popular too. And one thing that's exciting is NAU working with industry to try to look at those training opportunities that can translate into credits and degree opportunities.
Doug, I just have one more question. So are there any new emerging programs being developed that were driven specifically by COVID-19?
COVID-19 programming, I think we're delivering the programs differently, certainly. So we're looking at program delivery in a very different way because of COVID-19. And so one opportunity or one example is that, which is no surprise, is that a lot of courses shifted to Zoom technology. And I think that we're also looking at, could that be a resource for us going forward to serve some rural communities where there are small pockets of individuals that want to earn a degree, and they may feel more comfortable in a live setting, but the mass of students may not exist in that smaller community. But can we deliver that program through technology and through Zoom? And I think that we're looking at those opportunities to utilize Zoom to expand program opportunities across the county as well as the state.
All right, thank you, Doug. Nice to hear of all those opportunities that NEU has presented for students. Another crucial partner in this work is Arizona State University. Dr. Todd Sanderin, who serves as Vice Provost at ASU's West Campus and Dean of the College of Interdisciplinary Arts and Science, will share some of the inroads ASU has made to improve the transfer student experience.
Thank you so much, President Rivera, for that introduction, and thanks to all of you for the opportunity to talk with you just a little bit about the exciting things that are happening at ASU's West Campus and the ways in which we're working together to enhance and to advance the West Valley pipeline. Many of you know ASU's West Campus is an incredibly beautiful campus, one of ASU's 4 metropolitan Phoenix campuses. We have a wonderfully diverse and rapidly growing group of students that we serve. In fact, more than 50%, actually 57% of our current students are from here in the West Valley as well. We appreciate the opportunity to work with so many at Westmark here and so many in the West Valley to advance the strategy articulated in each of the 3 pillars in the West Valley pipeline initiative. In terms of addressing skills gaps through industry education and in workforce partnerships, we know, like many of you do, one of the greatest opportunities potentially in skills gaps areas is in the area of soft skills. And one of the most critical skills, of course, is persuasive speaking and oral communication. We have an entire floor of one of our academic buildings at West Campus dedicated to ensuring that our students and community members have an opportunity to up their game in terms of their oral communication skills and their ability to pitch an idea. We call it CommLab ASU, the Communications Lab at Arizona State University. We also know there's incredible need in the workforce in the area of cybersecurity. And so at West Campus, we not only have degrees that prepare students for careers in cybersecurity, we have also built, in partnership with a company called Trilogy Education Services, we have built a cybersecurity boot camp for anyone who wants to learn more about cybersecurity, whether you are a current student or whether you are a professional business owner and entrepreneur who needs to learn more about cybersecurity to advance their work, their business, and their company as well. We're also working to create career pathways for highly in-demand occupations. And so certainly we know that logistics is a critical need, not only here in the West Valley, but globally as well. I think all of us experienced that during the pandemic when we had shortages of consumer goods and food products as well. We have here at West Campus the Knight Swift Logistics Lab, which provides a physical environment, a platform for students and community members to learn about logistics and to perform real-world simulations to enhance and fortify supply chains as well. In the area of healthcare, we're working to advance healthcare entrepreneurship here in the West Valley as well. We have at ASU's West Campus what we call the HEAL Lab, which is the Health Entrepreneurship Accelerator Lab that provides all kinds of resources for innovators, student innovators, and community members, supporting our students to bring their health-related business concepts to market as well. And of course, germane to healthcare are our programs in the STEM field: science, technology, engineering, and math. We believe that we should teach students not only in the classroom critical knowledge about this area, of course, these areas, but also teach them beyond the boundaries of the classroom. So we have a program called Inquire, which allows students to work with faculty side by side at the cutting edge of knowledge and invention to create solutions to problems facing the world today. We also recognize at ASU and our West Campus in particular that the students who graduate from our campus didn't necessarily start with us. In fact, often more than half of our graduates began with us not as first-year students, but as transfers from community colleges nearby, many of times from, of course, our Maricopa Community College District partners as well. And so we built something called the Train STEM program, which is focusing again on STEM success in our transfer student population, focusing again on transfer, providing not only student support, but also financial support for our students as well. Still in the realm of STEM, we believe in connecting with and investing in the future workforce, not only in our current students, but our future students as well. And so we host annually what we call Cyber Day for Girls. Hundreds of 8th grade girls are introduced to cybersecurity skills and what a career in cybersecurity looks like, to glimpse their future self in cybersecurity. This is sponsored in part by IBM as well. We also go beyond 8th grade, up into high school as well. We host a cybersecurity challenge where we have positive, healthy hacking going on, a competition between high school students and college students to see who can hack the server first, to demonstrate their abilities to protect and understand cybersecurity. Still in STEM, we have initiatives such as CECL, which is our work to advance what STEM education and learning actually looks like in the 21st century. We also, again, investing in our future students. We host something called Summer Up every summer. It is summer experiential learning, or what we used to call summer camps, to expose students to STEM fields such as forensic science, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity. We're also working with partners here to rebrand career and technical education. We're partnering with WestMech as well as the Maricopa Community College District to create pathways from AA degrees to bachelor's degrees, beginning with potentially CTE degrees as well. So what does this look like? I won't go through every single pathway here, but as you can see, there are many, many, many possibilities, from students beginning with CTE, potentially at WestMech, again in veterinary sciences, all the way from vet science to coding to IT security, to an associate's degree at the Maricopa Community College District, to us at ASU with a 4-year degree in a variety of programs that we can customize and tailor very quickly, but currently including things like crisis management and public administration and communication as well. As you can tell, I'm very excited about what's happening at West Campus, and ASU overall is investing significantly in ASU here in the West Valley as well. And so to make all of those things happen, to make those possible, we are investing more than $7 million right now in building out new facilities, new research and instructional lab facilities, totaling more than 12,000 square feet of state-of-the-art space. Now, if I had more time, I would walk you through this beautiful campus and show you some of these incredible things. But given the shortage of time we have, I thought I'd take you on a very quick video tour. Thank you so much and enjoy our tour together. I look forward to connecting and working with you in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Sanderin. Another critical industry partner to this collaborative is Banner Health. With us via video message is Ms. Courtney Opog, Chief Executive Officer of Banner Estrella Medical Center.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity today to share the importance of working with our community partners to develop a workforce pipeline for the future. Between Banner Health and Arizona State University, together we have supported over 3,100 clinical student rotations within Banner. And as those individuals have joined the Banner workforce, we have also then in turn sent over 300 of them back to Arizona State University for their ongoing professional growth and development. And continuing to support our team members and our community is strategically important for us because the healthcare worker unemployment rate in 2019 was 1.1%. And so as we think about the future, our challenge and our call is really to support those individuals through simulation center programs, through specific academies, as well as partnering with our clinical institutions to support them formally through that higher education system. The value of that relationship and creating a workforce pipeline is important because the healthcare needs in the community, the demand for healthcare workers is going to increase significantly. The demand will increase by roughly 58% leading up to the year 2026. And so when you think about the importance of developing our team and creating a pipeline, given the anticipated workforce shortage, it really speaks to our call and our challenge to work together to address those needs. And when I think about the future, even more so, given the COVID realities of this year, there are potentially next year up to 50% of students who will not have had a clinical hands-on experience. And so together with Arizona State University, we will have to make sure that we create a plan to support those healthcare workers, those healthcare professionals, to best prepare them for the future so that they can take care of the community, take care of their healthcare needs, and such that the healthcare residents can get care close to home.
Great video from Banner Health. Addressing the skills gaps through collaboration and partnerships is an essential strategy for West Valley Pipeline. Here to speak more about Arizona at Work is focusing on this is Mr. Kevin Duncombe.
Thank you, Dr. Rivera, and I am very happy to be here today to talk about Arizona at Work and how we are supporting the West Valley Pipeline strategy. Arizona at Work is the statewide public workforce development program. We support job seekers and businesses throughout the state of Arizona. My office concentrates on Maricopa County, and we have been a part of the West Valley Pipeline strategy from the planning stage through the development of the strategy and now through the implementation. So I'm very happy to be here today to talk about some of the successes that Arizona at Work has had over the past year, and in particular, how they intersect with the West Valley Pipeline strategy. The first major accomplishment that we had this year was that we relocated our West Valley Career Center. And this is important for the strategy in a couple of reasons. Number one, as we were nearing the end of our lease period at our previous location, we realized that we were paying for space that we weren't utilizing. So we were overpaying a landlord with money that we would rather put into programs and services. So when we had the opportunity to right size, we took that opportunity, and as a result, we see several $100,000 worth of savings over the lifetime of the lease at our new location at 43rd Avenue and Olive in the city of Glendale. And that's money that goes directly to providing direct services to job seekers and to businesses in our community. The other reason why this is important is that while we were very happy with the location that we were at previously, given the opportunity to relocate, it was very important to us to find a location where we could have a direct and immediate impact on our neighborhood. And we believe that we found that at 43rd Avenue and Olive for job seekers and for businesses in the local area, while also continuing to serve the entire West Valley region through our Access Point program and through our youth community hubs at various locations throughout the West Valley. As we moved into our new location, it was very important to us that we have space in our new facility to have regular job fairs and career fairs. And we did have one in February of this year, and there's a photo from that event, and it was very successful. So it was the first one at our new location. We brought in about 15 employers. We had about 100 job seekers come, and we were planning to do this on a regular rotation. We were also in the middle of planning for a very large West Valley regional hiring event that was going to bring in about 50 employers and about 10 service provider partners. We were in the advanced stages of planning for that event. It was going to be in the spring, and then COVID hit and we had to withdraw that planning. So like everybody else, we had to figure out how we were going to deliver services in the new environment. How can we provide job fairs, career fairs in a virtual environment? So we have figured that out. We have several different models that we can use to support the needs of the businesses, to support the needs of our city partners as we plan for these events. So whether it would be a single employer event, whether it's an employer spotlight event, whether it's a hiring event where job seekers and employers can connect and have conversations, or whether it is an industry forum. So in fact, we help support the industry, the IT Occupation Industry Forum a week ago in in collaboration with Westmark and Pipeline AZ and Bright Consulting, and that went very well. So we are now in the planning stages of how we're going to roll that out for the rest of 2021 for the other industries that are important to the West Valley Pipeline strategy. So COVID hit. And like everything else, we had to regroup. We had to figure out how to deliver services virtually that we used to do face-to-face. We were getting calls from businesses and letters from businesses that were laying off in volumes that we had never seen before. So right away in late March, after we had to cancel the hiring event I was just talking about, we reached out to every business in our business database, and we simply asked them, are you still hiring, or are you at risk of laying off? And if you're at risk of laying off, we have services that can support you and support the individuals who are being affected. So we reached out to over 2,700 businesses in our database, and 200 of them got back to us right away saying, yes, we are still hiring. And in addition, we had businesses calling us saying, we can pick up some of the slack from the individuals who are being let go, because they had the skill sets that we need. We also reached out to our economic development partners in the various cities and asked them those same questions. Do you know of any businesses that are coming in that are hiring? Do you know of any businesses that are at risk that we can connect with and provide our rapid response layoff services? We put all this information together into a database that we shared with all of our job seekers as to which businesses are still hiring. And we also shared it with the statewide database that was distributed across the entire workforce development ecosystem. So all of the workforce development programs, the public and the private nonprofits, they had access to this database to be able to get the information to the affected job seekers quickly, so that those who were negatively impacted by the shutdowns and the other things that happened because of COVID would quickly be able to find new employment opportunities. We also recognized that, I'm sorry, let me back up. The other thing that happened, of course, was that there was a massive amount of layoffs, so we just couldn't avoid it, we couldn't stop. And at one point in the state of Arizona, there was over 400,000 individuals who lost their jobs. Now, many of those were temporary furloughs, and many of those people have been able to go back to their place of employment and to some capacity, whether it's full-time or part-time, but many individuals are still negatively impacted. They can't go back, they don't have a job to go back to, their industry has been decimated, or they are looking for something that would be more stable in the current environment. So they're looking to re-career, to take their skills and redeploy them into new employment opportunities. So Arizona at Work, Maricopa County has increased our capacity to handle what we expect to be a very significant increase in the demand for our services. Right now, there are still 140,000 individuals who are collecting unemployment in Maricopa County, and that is a substantial increase over what it was less than a year ago. There's also an untold number of individuals who are waiting it out. They're not necessarily looking for employment today, but we expect that they will over the next number of weeks, number of months, depending on what happens with the pandemic and where this goes. So we have increased our capacity to be able to handle the expected influx of job seekers who will be coming to us for services. We've also migrated all of our services to virtual. So while our career centers have stayed open during the entire time of this pandemic, and while we still provide face-to-face services, we can provide all of our services virtually. Just contact us through our website and someone will get back to you and talk to you about what your needs are. But in addition to this increased capacity, we also increased the business services capacity. And this has now allowed us to do much more intentional partnerships with our partners, our economic development partners, our education department partners, our various community-based organization partners, and industry association partners. Now, this has always been a goal, of course, and it's something that we've always tried to do. But when you're running lean, many times you're focus on doing the work of the day, the work that is in front of you. Now that we have increased capacity on my business services team, we are able to have great partnerships with organizations such as the Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce, such as WestMec, and we heard Spencer earlier this morning. We are in regular contact with all of our city economic development partners to just stay engaged with them and where they are. We are connecting with various industry associations as the industries are dealing with the new reality and what may be happening tomorrow. And interesting, as I was waiting to come up on stage today, chatting with some of the other speakers, new opportunities are still presenting themselves. So we're looking forward to that. So it's been a very interesting year for Arizona at Work, primarily because of the pandemic and the way that we've had to adjust and reorganize. I will say that from a workforce development perspective, it's actually kind of an exciting time because we are assisting businesses, we are assisting our economic development partners in delivering services in a new way. The demand for services has not gone away. There is still tremendous amount of employment opportunities. And in fact, we're seeing activity from businesses that are very similar to what we saw in January and February this year before the pandemic hit, where there were more jobs than there are job seekers. Right now, there are fewer jobs available than there was in January. However, there are still more jobs available than there are job seekers who are connecting to them. And so that is the challenge that we are embracing, and it's what we will be focused on over the next several months and as we head into the new year. And that is everything that I prepared. And with that, I can take any questions that may come up.
Thank you, Kevin. It's great to see that your organization is trying to get Arizonans back to work. My first question is, how does West Valley Pipeline and West Valley strategy align with the Maricopa County's industry priorities?
So they align almost identical, and it's one of the reasons why we have been so successful in providing support for the West Valley pipeline strategy. So in the West Valley pipeline strategy, you have advanced business services, you have advanced manufacturing, healthcare, IT, cybersecurity, transportation, logistics, and I'm forgetting one. Aerospace and aviation. For Maricopa County, we have finance and insurance, which aligns very closely with advanced business services. We have healthcare, of course. We have information, which aligns with IT. We have manufacturing, which aligns perfectly. We have transportation and warehousing, which aligns with the transportation and warehousing for the Westmark. We have construction as a in-demand industry, which is not one of the Westmark in demand, but is vitally important because without construction, nothing else gets done. So we are continuing to support that, and that overlay between the priorities for Maricopa County and what is in the West Valley pipeline is almost a perfect match.
All right, my next question is, how can we best support regionally the events and initiatives of Arizona at Work?
One of the things that we talk about all the time is that we are the best kept secret. Our marketing budget is $0 out of the funding that we have. So it's, please partner with us, number one. Number two, please tell anyone that you know that Arizona at Work services exist, that we are available to help job seekers. We are available to help businesses connect with us. We are very happy to partner with anybody who has a workforce development need. And we absolutely will serve any job seeker in the state who is looking for employment opportunities. So please help us get the word out.
Thank you, Kevin. You'll definitely be hearing from the Maricopa Community College District, I'm sure. All right, now let's turn our attention to a video update about the state of our workforce and jobs from Mr. Peter Burnett. Mr. Burnett serves as a Socioeconomic Research Program Manager for the Maricopa Association of Governments, or MAG.
Good morning. My name is Peter Burnett. I'm a Socioeconomic Research Program Manager for Maricopa Association of Governments in the Regional Analytics Division. I'm excited to be here with you today. I am thankful for the invite from Westmark to be able to present this data to you. Obviously, I wish I could be there with you in person, but considering the circumstances in 2020, this is the way we're adapting right now. That said, if you have any questions or comments regarding this presentation or some of the data that I'm presenting today, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'd be happy to discuss this with you and answer any questions you might have. With that said, I'd like to jump right into the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you now. And there we go. Before I go through the presentation, I would like to mention two data sources that I'll be mentioning and working with today. One is the trip reduction program. We've presented this information in the past, and I think a lot of you may be familiar with this data. It is a survey that goes out to employers every year with 50 or more employees. The survey results in almost 500,000 surveys every year. So it's a very rich data set that we can get regarding the workforce. The jobs data comes from the Maricopa Association of Governments employer database. And this is the 2019 data for both of these data sets. First slide here, the map shows the region or the county divided into 3 regions, west, central, and east. I'd like to point out that those that live and work in the West in 2019 was 42.7%. That's west of Phoenix. And then those that lived west and traveled outside of that region was 57.3. The stat up in the upper right corner shows that 44% of workers living west of the 17, if you were to draw a line right down that map along the 17, it was 44% lived west and commuted east. Back in 2014, that number was 48% that were commuting east. So we're seeing a different change there and where they live and work and staying in that same region. This is a map that we show that shows the entire county and workforce. The blue on the map is the concentration of workforce, and then the dots on top, the orange dots, are coming from the employer database. Those living west of 17, I-17 in 2019 was 37.3% of the county. And the jobs west of I-17 was about a quarter of the county at that time. We can further take this data and look at it by focus industries. One of the industries that we get asked a lot about is healthcare. Those living west of 17 that work in healthcare was 38.4% in 2019. And again, about a quarter of the jobs in the county. But we have seen since 2017, those working in healthcare living west of 17 has increased by 1.4%. That's the share of the county. And then the jobs also has increased by 1%. I could keep showing you maps, but let me just highlight a few significant changes that we've seen in focus industries. So advanced business services, since 2017, we've seen an increase in the share of the county of 1%, of about 1%. Now, information technology also is within the advanced business services, but if you just take those out and look at the computer-related NAICS codes, we saw a significant increase in the workforce of 4.5%. Then, of course, in the West Valley, transportation and logistics, we saw an increase of over 2,000 jobs, and that share of the county was 1.5%. I do want to mention that a lot of this data, this trip reduction data, we've recently created a dashboard that's interactive. It's called the Regional Workforce Commute Explorer. I provided a link there for you at the top. In this example here, I've shown you west of 17, and you can see data from the trip reduction program that shows commute flows, where people live, where they work, what modes of transportation they're taking, how much time it takes them to travel to work. If you click on the different occupations, the dashboard does change and is interactive. We have a lot of the data that shows west of 17, east of 17, or west, central, and east as well. So if you want more information there, please visit that dashboard. Now, in talking with Westmark before this presentation, they indicated to us 3 corridors of interest that they have. And along these corridors, we created 1-mile buffers to look at the growth in jobs. Obviously, you can see along the 101 and the 10, quite a bit of jobs, almost 70,000 along the 101 and over 30,000 along the 10. Both of those saw significant increases in jobs since 2017. Now, along the 303, it's obviously a developing area, but there's also growth that is happening there, plus 700 since 2017. And if you were to extend this corridor along the 303 down to almost the 10, you can see a cluster of employment there. You'd see quite a bit of growth happening in that area as well. Now, along with corridors of interest, Westmark indicated they wanted to look at some of the commute sheds. I should mention that MAG has created commute sheds for over 100 intersections in the valley. I'm going to focus on 3 today. This particular one is a 30-minute commute time to Glendale Avenue and the Loop 101, and you can see that on the red diamond right here in the middle. This commute shed accounts for 46% of the workforce in the county, and over 45% of the jobs. One interesting note within this commute shed, though, is that advanced business services, healthcare, and again, transportation and logistics in their respective focus industries accounted for more than 40% of the workforce and the jobs just within that commute shed. Another commute shed that we wanted to look at was I-17 and the Loop 101. This is a very much growing area. Advanced business services increased by 20,000 jobs just in this commute shed alone. And again, this one accounts for 40% of the workforce and then almost 50% of the jobs. It's at 47.7. Finally, a commute shed that's further out west along Indian School Road and Cotton Lane. It's obviously a growing area, but it's developing. And so that only accounts for 24.8% of the workforce and 20.5% of the jobs. We did see that there's 342,500 jobs within this commute shed, and that was an increase by 12,500 since 2017. And as far as shares of the county, again, we saw significant growth equally in advanced business services, IT, transportation, and logistics. The share in this commute shed went up by about, 1% in each of these focus industries. More information on the commute sheds, I've provided a link here. And again, we have over 100 commute sheds or intersections that have commute sheds that you can get information such as top employers, top industries, census information, population projections, and so forth. And we've developed some reports that are nice for you to be able to share and look at. And so go ahead and feel free to visit our website for more information on those commute sheds. Now, I've mentioned several different dashboards and data sources. An easier way to get to a lot of this data is by visiting data.azmag.gov or maps.azmag.gov, and you can browse some of the other data sets that we have there and get to the same ones that I've shown you today. With that, I just wanted to thank you for your time. And thank you for allowing me to present to you today. And again, I wish I could be there with you in person, but thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you.
I'm now going to turn it over to Ms. Kirsten Hall, the Economic and Business Development Coordinator with the City of Peoria. Ms. Hall will highlight some economic development data and its relevance to our work.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rivera. I appreciate that. Can we hear a virtual round of applause for all of the work that's been done by our educational and our workforce partners? Yeah, the audience is going wild. My name is Kirsten Hall. I'm with the City of Peoria Economic Development. I've been there 6.5 years. I'm also the co-chair of the West Valley Pipeline Committee, along with Kevin Dumcombe. This has been a labor of love, certainly. I am also a graduate of Barcelona Elementary School in Glendale, a graduate of Alhambra High School in West Phoenix, and a graduate of Grand Canyon University with my MBA. I'm a West Valley gal through and through. I had my children here. My son is still here with his 4 children in the West Valley, so this is very, very personal to me. So how did this start? I really want to sort of start us in square one. Mike Hoover with the City of Surprise asked me and some of my colleagues to come in about 6 years ago and asked us the question, how are we going to tell our workforce story? We already know that the talent is out here. How are we going to be able to tell people, to tell site selectors and businesses that the talent is here? At the time, all we had was data that showed people based on their industry and their the employment corridor where they worked, but not occupational and residential data. You just heard from Peter Burnett at MAG. Through him, through ASU, now we have that data available to us on their website. It's significant. We pulled together our funding partners, we pulled together stakeholders. We had over 100 stakeholders from commercial real estate, education, of course, workforce, municipalities, the electeds. It was a very, very comprehensive conversation that was had. But what differentiates us from other areas, we didn't stop at just gathering the data. We knew that we had to put some action behind the data. And we're not just differentiated in the Phoenix MSA, but really nationwide. There are not many regions that will act collaboratively and in a strategic way to have a results-oriented workforce strategy. And we've got one right here in the West Valley. So business attraction, as you know, is an essential part of the work I do for my city. The slide that shows the list, oh, I'm showing the process and then the action, bam, and then Site Selector Magazine, thank you so much, shows that in order of priority, site selectors were asked, what's the most important piece of data that you need to know to get your company located in the right spot? Workforce, the talent pool. That's the number one question always. We need to be able to tell the story. The work that you heard today, that's our story. So brace yourselves. There is a lot coming. The city of Peoria, you've heard in the news, our development reports that we've had, the press releases we've had out. Goodyear and El Mirage have the Microsoft data centers that we're so excited about. Avondale is building a commercial center, on and on and on. Quality of life elements are starting to come in, which trails a talented workforce. We have the Crystal Lagoon in Glendale, and we also have restaurants, high-end restaurants, the Barrio Queen, Portillo's, Jalapeno Inferno. It's making me hungry. We have a lot of that quality of life coming, and it's following the workforce. Westmark also has not only been the convener for this workforce strategy, but they've also been the platform for cities to tell their story about what's happening here in the West Valley. We're getting a lot of attention. I reached out to economic development directors at various cities and I asked, would you be willing to share your average project pipeline, not your leads, but your average project pipeline? As you'll see, $3.5 billion on average each city is carrying, each city economic development department is carrying right now and managing these projects. On average, each project has about 20,000 jobs, north of 67,000 in salary annually. That is significant. Not only are the cities doing their work, but our regional economic development partners are as well. Arizona Commerce Authority, GPEC has brought in so many jobs, and ACA also shared with us their CapEx that they've brought to the Valley. Those are things that are already here in the last year, and there's more on the way. We've got to be able to tell our story. While all of us are, attracting these serious projects, we can't do it without the support of the cities, the utilities, the businesses that have not only funded but continue to provide support. We need your involvement to make this a success. We have 3 more years of this particular strategy. Who knows what's in the future? But I thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kristen. I have a couple of questions for you. So from an economic development perspective, how has West Valley Pipeline complemented the work that you do?
Again, Dr. Rivera, it helps us tell the story. When a site selector comes in, they often already have the data. They have far more data than I can provide them. They want to know what they have told me is called their microeconomy. What else is happening here that differentiates you from other regions? It's this. Who else can say we have educational partners, K through 12 and beyond higher education at the same table, building off one another's projects? You heard about the new partnerships. It's kind of a daisy chain of support. When I'm talking to a business, that's exactly what I say is the collaboration here is true, it's unique, and it will benefit the businesses that come in.
Thank you. My second question is there any key data that would be beneficial to you as an economic developer pertaining to workforce that is currently not available to you?
That's a great question. You know, I'm a little bit of a closet data nerd, and there are some significant databases that show that I actually saw just this week from medical office brokers that show the buying patterns of people, the way that they travel, the way that they live. That would actually be very, very useful. But what's most useful to me is keeping in touch with all of the educational partners that we have and finding out what are your metrics? How many students are in the program? How many are graduating? How many are getting jobs, if you have that as well? That is kind of a foundational piece of data.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. And it's great to hear all the different data opportunities that are there, and it's great to see all the work that the city of Peoria is doing for the West Valley. So once again, we've had a really great talk. We're almost winding up here. A lot of great presentations. I'm sure we're going to have this presentation available on the Westmark website at some point. But without further ado, I want to mention a little bit about our progress with the West Valley Pipeline. None of this would be possible without the support and efforts of Westmark. So with that, please help me welcome Ms. Centra Hoffman, President and CEO of, and Ms. Kimberly Jordan, Director of Strategic Partnerships and Business Development at Westmark.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rivera, and everyone else who has joined us this morning. This is definitely, like Kirsten mentioned, it's a labor of love. And I can't thank you all enough for continuing to support this from the get-go. I feel like this is pretty much one of the major projects that we've been working on at Westmark for the last 4.5, almost 5 years. And like Kirsten said, even before that. So as you all know, our mission at Westmark is to position the West Valley for economic growth. And that's a pretty broad statement. So as you've seen this morning, a key goal that we're focusing on and how we do it is really by developing our workforce and keying in on that. There's a lot of steps that are involved in implementing a regional strategy, any kind of regional strategy. So we created this structure about 2.5 years ago when the Westmark Board of Directors first adopted this plan. And we created this structure so that we can organize and manage the work. And clearly it's happening because you've seen all of the updates today. So first we created a marketing subcommittee because like Kevin mentioned, we really have a great story to tell, but we don't tell it as loudly as maybe we should. And so our marketing subcommittee was created to do that. Our education partners, you've heard from all of them this morning, and continuous business outreach. We have to make sure that we're continuously checking in with our partners. The world is changing pretty much daily, and so we need to make sure that we're touching base to keep pace with that. And then finally, our industry-focused discussions, which KJ will get into a little bit later. So a key element, again, is making sure that we're getting the message out about the West Valley. That's the only way we're going to move the needle. And marketing strategies that we've developed over the last 2.5 years have really been focused on, actually even before that, about 4 years ago, we really developed our marketing strategies around messaging and marketing the West Valley's talented workforce. Because the number one thing that companies look for when they're making a decision on where to locate is, do they have the talented workforce in place today? And do they have the structure to create that workforce into the future and develop that workforce in the future? And that's why our partnerships with the education community is so vital. So I want to just point out, you're looking at some of the different marketing resources that we have, and they're located on the Westmark website, but you can always reach out to us to get that information. There's a lot of detail in there about not only the workforce, but the quality of life, the amenities that exist in the West Valley, and the importance of having it. So I'm not going to belabor these slides because Peter Burkett did a fabulous job of going through all the details. But what I wanted to do was tell a little bit of a story about this. So as you see, healthcare is our leading industry, and you can see by the black and the dark red areas and the orange areas, the high concentrations of workforce that we have in that area. And I want to point out how this is really implemented is we have a strong healthcare corridor along McDowell Road, spanning from Phoenix with Banner Estrella Healthcare all the way west to Goodyear, and even expanding into Buckeye. The same thing, if you look north, you'll see a huge concentration of healthcare in the Peoria area and the Avondale, the Arrowhead, Glendale area. So those are definitely key pieces that we need. And you know, healthcare is driven by need, by population. Today, the West Valley's overall population is 1.7 million residents. So not only will healthcare continue to be a strong industry in Arizona and in the West Valley, but also in the nation. The other area that I want to point out is, again, one of our key our targeted industries is finance and insurance. And I'll kind of move through these slides pretty quickly because really the story that they tell is Farmers Insurance, located in Tempe, took a look at the demographics of where their employees were coming from. And they realized that they were all coming from kind of that north West Valley area. And they decided when they were going to expand into that area. So they have now created over 900 jobs for West Valley residents within that Northwest Valley area. And quality of life. We can't get anything done. We can't attract anyone unless we have a great quality of life to offer. I always like to tell the story of living in the West Valley for 21 years, owning 4 different houses, all within a 5-mile radius, because I love the West Valley. We have a great quality of life. If you're a sports fan, this is the place to be for sure. There's a lot of activity going on, performing arts and so on. I can go on, but I think I'm limited with time here. And then finally, I want to talk about why we do this. We do this, we invest our time, our efforts into our workforce because these are our kids. These are actually children of the Westmark team. And when I say the Westmark team, I mean our members too. And so this is really why we do this. We want to provide jobs. We want to make sure that our kids have jobs here locally, and they grow up in this community and they continue to support and enrich this community, and they're here with us for a long time. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to KJ, who's going to talk more about how we're getting all of this done.
Thank you, Sintra. So part of what excites me and what brought me to Arizona as a state and the West Valley is, to Sintra's point, we do this for the future and those young folks that are coming up. And one of the things that brought me to Arizona 20 years ago was just the excitement about being a part of who we are when we grow up. And so this is just work that really resonates with me personally. And I've so happy to call the West Valley home for 20 years now. So some of the things that Westmark has been up to over the last year in the face of COVID to support West Valley Pipeline is we've been working very hard, and you've heard from so many of our partners already, and it's just partnerships. I mean, that is the key to the success of the implementation of this strategy. So we have been working very closely with Pipeline AZ, who you heard Paula mention earlier in the program. We have worked to develop a landing page embedded within the Pipeline AZ platform for West Valley Pipeline. So we have a link to it from our website, and it is meant to be a centralized hub for the West Valley, for a place for our West Valley employers and our West Valley job seekers to connect directly with one another. It's so important to be able to facilitate those connections so that, our workforce has the ability to have opportunities close to home, which again plays into their quality of life and overall happiness and satisfaction. So next slide, please. When you visit the website, there is an explanation of the background of West Valley Pipeline, and also there are direct links for employers to register and create a profile, and also for job seekers to go in and create a profile. So again, this serves as a West Valley hub for those connections. So what we're doing to really leverage the power of this partnership with Pipeline AZ is we've brought in, of course, additional partners. And so we've partnered with Pipeline AZ, Arizona at Work, Maricopa County, and Brightworks Consulting. And what we are doing, and we just started back on October 27th, is we are launching a West Valley Industry Spotlight series and a companion job matching component that goes along with that. So in October, we highlighted IT and cybersecurity. We chose to start with IT and cybersecurity because that is a skill set that transcends all of the industry sectors that we're looking to grow and attract in the West Valley. So what we have been working with all of the West Valley cities to, first of all, let them know that we are launching this initiative, and asking them to assist us with outreach to employers in the West Valley as well as job seekers in the West Valley to spread the word and enlist their engagement and help make those connections that the landing page within Pipeline is intended to do. So we have reached out to the cities. They have very graciously supported this initiative as partners and really been helping push out the marketing for this series. So the spotlight will again focus on the 6 target industry sectors that Neil Terry identified earlier in the program. In October of this year, we started with IT and cybersecurity, and this is the calendar of the future series that will be coming in 2021. So in February, we'll highlight advanced business services. In April, we will be highlighting healthcare. June will be advanced manufacturing. August will be transportation and logistics and supply chain management, excuse me. And in October, we will focus on aerospace and aviation. So what does this mean? We will be continuing to reach out to all of our partners and really ask for your assistance with getting the word out, spreading the information about the calendar, helping identify companies that would benefit from participating in this webinar series and the job matching component, as well as those job seekers. And so we will continue to reach out and ask for your participation and your engagement. Just to be clear, the webinar will be the kickoff portion of the series. And in the webinars, we're bringing together subject matter experts within the target industry sector. We're bringing in workforce development professionals to talk about their resources and services, and also training and education providers so that they can update employers and job seekers about the opportunities and pathways that exist. Following the webinar portion, there will be a 3-week period in which job seekers and employers are matched. So behind the scenes, the staff with Pipeline AZ will be working with those employers who have signed up and expressed interest in participating, as well as the job seekers. And there will be that job matching component for the following 3 weeks after the kickoff webinar. And so we are really excited to launch this initiative in support of West Valley Pipeline, our employers in the region, as well as our job seekers. So again, I've said it so many times, but it takes a village to make this successful. And so we just really look forward to everybody's future engagement and participation so that we're able to make this initiative and continue to make West Valley Pipeline strategy a successful initiative as well. So what next? How can you get involved? So we heard from just some of our partners and some of our education providers today. There are so many others that we work with, but this would have been a 6-hour long event today if we had everybody present live. So if you have not already, and you are one of our education providers or an industry partner, and you want to share the great news, share the work, and help us celebrate the work that has been happening that supports West Valley Pipeline, please connect with me so that we can capture that information to be rolled up into the collateral piece that will be developed for the West Valley Pipeline Year 2 report. Also, we're looking for people to join the West Valley Pipeline Steering Committee. We have several folks that have been involved in the committee since the inception of the strategy, but some of those folks have come and gone. There's been a change in guard, or they've moved on to different opportunities. And so we want to keep that alive and well and energized. And so if you are interested in becoming a part of that, again, please contact me. My contact information will be on a slide coming up. Also, just connect with me to talk about what other ways you can get involved. There are so many ways. I don't have time to list them all here, but I would love to sit down and have a conversation and help identify the most valuable and productive ways that you can connect as a partner and a community member to make this a successful initiative for the West Valley as a whole. So thank you very much.
Thank you, KJ and Sintra. I agree. It definitely takes a village to move everything here in the West Valley. This concludes my part and has been my pleasure to be your host today. Now I'd like to turn this over to Mr. Neil Terry for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Rivera. As you can see, a lot of effort has gone into making this program today. We want to thank all our partners for all the information they provided. As you can see, that there's been a lot of work that's occurred this past year. So I want to thank, again, Estrella Mountain Community College for hosting us today and allowing us to broadcast from their facilities. Thank their staff. If you saw everybody scrambling around trying to make this happen, you'd appreciate all the effort went into making this broadcast. So, and Dr. Rivera, thank you for being our MC today. You did a great job. And with that, I want to make sure that those of you that want to get involved and will learn more about this West Valley Pipeline, the information is here. Please contact Cintra Hoffman and Kimberly Jordan if you want to participate in future events and programs regarding West Valley Pipeline. So with that, I know we're out of time, so I appreciate everybody's attention today. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and thanks again for your participation.